the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, I'm Clint Watson, and this is ZNS.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Here's what's making headlines tonight. The Grand Bahama Port Authority makes a major donation to Doctors Hospital on Grand Bahama. Also, the PLP chairman fires back at a GBPA executive over business outlook remarks. And election fever heats up. Hear how parties are gearing up for the race.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
We're going to build it on budget. We're going to build what we said, and we're going to spend the money that we thought we were going to spend.
Good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks for tuning in. Topping news, Chief Financial Officer for Doctors Hospital Health System, Dennis DeVoe, is crediting Grand Bahama Port Authority Director Rupert Hayward with the institution moving to open a hospital on Grand Bahama, sharing that the Port Authority donated millions in interest following the sale of what will be its flagship Grand Bahama facility. Cleopatra Murphy has the latest on this project.
Steady progress continues on the multi-million-dollar Doctors Hospital Grand Bahama complex, with officials predicting construction will be complete by summer's end. The facility will be a fully functioning 25-bed hospital, 7 of them flex ICU. It will also include outpatient and inpatient services, as well as maternity suites. Chief Financial Officer for Doctors Hospital Health Systems, Dennis DeVoe, says the project is also within budget.
We said 20 to 25 million. In that number, 20 million is construction. I'm happy to report, I think we're at 20.2 is our latest forecast. And so we just ain't gonna overspend on the establishment of this hospital. We're gonna build it on budget. We're gonna build what we said, and we're gonna spend the money that we thought we were gonna spend.
The facility will occupy the former First Commercial Center on the mall. DeVoe gave an update on the project during the recent Grand Bahama Business Outlook.
Most of the advanced equipment that is required to open the hospital is already on island. We are now finalizing orders for residual equipment with lead times anywhere from 4 to 6 months. We're in the process actually of thinking about who will be on the ground to run the hospital beyond Kendra and her team, and beginning to think about our vendor outreach.
He says it is all about providing quality and affordable health care for Grand Bahama residents.
Make no doubt. We will open the Grand Bahama Hospital, but we will do it as a part of our broad strategy on transforming healthcare infrastructure in the Northern Bahamas and then coming squarely to terms with how Grand Bahamians pay for it.
Renovation of the First Commercial Center began in March 2023, and upon completion, the hospital will employ 70 to 90 people. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Cleopatra Murphy.
Well, in other news, the debate over Freeport's economic future is heating up once again as PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell pushes back against statements made by a Grand Bahama Port Authority executive during the recent Grand Bahama Business Outlook. With questions raised about the island's decline and road to recovery, Mitchell is making it clear where he believes the responsibility lies.
I thought that there was an understanding between the sides where there's an arbitration going on to stay out of the press and not try and poison the well.
Chairman of the Progressive Liberal Party, Fred Mitchell, is pushing back against remarks made by Rupert Hayward, an executive of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, during the recent Grand Bahama Business Outlook. Hayward acknowledged the need for improved public messaging to dispel the perception that tensions between the government and the GBPA have escalated into outright conflict, hindering Freeport's growth. He also stressed the importance of collaboration between both entities to establish a viable economic model for Grand Bahama's progress. When asked who bears responsibility for Freeport's decline, Hayward stated that both the government and the Port Authority share accountability. However, Mitchell strongly disagrees.
So this fellow's just making up things to give excuses for why his company and the shareholders in that company cannot perform their obligations under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement. And that's the only thing. Do you have the money? Do you have the ideas to move the Port Authority to do what it's supposed to do under the Hawksbill Creek Agreement? If you don't have it, then you need to have someone else come and do it. That's all the government's position is. That's the PLP's position.
The PLP chairman further criticized the GBPA, pointing to what he describes as its failure to maintain key infrastructure, such as the ongoing repairs to the Tino Beach Bridge.
You allowed it to fall into disrepair. It's been closed for months now, or half used, saying that it has a limited tonnage that can go over it, which people are widely ignoring. You can't finish that. And you're talking about the government being responsible for what is happening in the city.
Mitchell maintains that if the government is responsible for anything in Freeport, it is the island's upward trajectory.
You got to say Ginger, Moxie, the Minister for Investments, who's Chester Cooper, the Prime Minister, have all been working assiduously to make sure that Grand Bahama gets lifted off the ground. That's why you see the activity there. That's why Carnival is there. That's why the shipyard is there. Nothing to do with them, the Port Authority.
Meantime, President of the Grand Bahama Chamber of Commerce, James Carey, is urging government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority to work together to bring the talked about $2 billion in investments for the island to reality. While much uncertainty still exists, Carey says he is encouraged about the island's reemergence so it can be positioned to play a major role in the country's overall development.
We shouldn't be distracted by a government's claim on the Port Authority for an excess of $300 million and the arbitration connected thereto. Most certainly, this should not be an inhibitor to developmental progress, although it probably is. Notwithstanding the difference, it is imperative that a way be found by the government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority to work together, engaging the business community and the community as a whole in such progress, ultimately for the good of Grand Bahama and all its residents.
Carey also addressed the calls for the Port Authority being done away with, but suggests it still has a role and contributes to the island's economy.
It perhaps goes without saying that the current owners of the Port Authority can be changed if they desire to relinquish their interest. That is for the owners to decide. But as it stands, the Grand Bahama Port Authority as an organization is with us for the next 29 years. We should accept that fact and the fact that the Port Authority is playing an important role in the well-being of Grand Bahama as it is.
Switching gears now, is election fever sweeping the nation? The question pouring in as political parties are ramping up their campaigns. While some have already ratified their candidates, others are setting their campaign strategies in motion. Meanwhile, unofficial candidates' lists are making rounds on social media. In this report, party representatives outline their plans as the road to the 2026 general election takes shape. With just under 2 years to go before the next general election, political parties are intensifying their preparations. Chairman of the Free National Movement, Dwayne Sands, says the party is actively laying the groundwork for a strong campaign. He notes that efforts are underway to engage voters, strengthen constituency branches, and finalize a slate of candidates who will reflect the party's vision for the country.
People want to know yesterday who's our candidate going to be, because, we want to get rid of these people now. And while we appreciate that, they also want people, men and women of courage and character with a vision, a progressive vision for transformative change for this country. And putting together that team demands effort and consideration, and that is exactly what we're putting into it.
Meanwhile, the leader of the Coalition of Independents, Lincoln Bain, is preparing for the party's official launch on Saturday, March 1st in the nation's capital under the theme Vision 2030. Bain has announced plans to release what he calls the first political manifesto dedicated to empowering the people. ZNS News attempted to contact Bain for a comment, but our calls went unanswered up to news time. At the same time, speculation is swirling online with a list circulating on social media claiming to reveal Progressive Liberal Party candidates for the 2026 election. However, POP Chairman Fred Mitchell has dismissed the list as false, emphasizing that the party's primary focus remains on governance rather than electioneering at this stage.
The election is not due until October 2026, so people still have their work to do as members of Parliament. All members of Parliament, the Progressive Liberal Party, are busy at the wheel trying to take care of their constituencies. So the question of when the Candidates Committee meets is really a matter which is much later down the road than now. There's no emergency which exists which causes that to have to happen. So the processes of governance are still going on, and there's a lot of work to do. As I often say, miles to go before we sleep.
In other news, 2 men and 1 woman were arraigned in Freeport Magistrates Court Monday on fraud and money laundering charges. 41-year-old Chanel Grant was charged with 2 counts of fraud by false pretenses and 2 counts of money laundering. Also arraigned were 34-year-old Garth Ewing Jr., who was charged with 2 counts of fraud and 1 count of money laundering, while 36-year-old Patrick Pyfrom was charged with 2 counts of fraud, 2 counts of abetment to fraud, and 2 counts of money laundering. The trio all pled not guilty and were granted $8,000 bail with 1 or 2 suretors. The matter has been adjourned to April 28, 2025. Well, also in news tonight, the city of Freeport's newly sworn-in officials are focused on advancing key projects and securing funding with plans to complete unfinished work and explore new revenue opportunities. In this report, the chief counselor for the city of Freeport breaks down what his vision is for the local government. Here's Raven Davis.
With newly sworn-in officials, local government is now ready to tackle the challenges ahead, starting with budgeting. Chief Counselor for the City of Freeport, Kendall Karma II, is hopeful that the council will be given more flexibility to advance key projects and complete those left unfinished by the previous administration in which he served. He says one of the primary goals is getting the Emergency Operations Center fully operational.
That would be utilized for hurricanes or any natural disaster. We started that project. We want to complete that. We also have a project that we have to meet with the GB Power and the Port Authority, where we would like to partner with them and add additional street lights to the system, because during our campaign we had a lot of residents make note that some areas with their corners were dark, so we want to assist in that area.
Culmer also outlining plans to establish a town hall in the city of Freeport. He says the building would serve as a central location for the city council, combining the council offices, the administrator's office, and the EOC all under one roof.
Rather than putting, dead money into renting, owning our own building would be much better. And we'll also like to put with it being a town hall, the history of the city of Freeport in it, so something extra for tourists to actually come and see.
He says securing adequate funding remains the top challenge for local government, adding that officials have often leveraged partnerships with corporations and collaborated with central government to make the most of limited resources.
Under the new act, they provided some room for where the council now has to pay some of our board members a stipend, which we never did before. And they increased the stipends for the councillors. So that's an added extra cost. It's more to do with the same amount of money there. And then we also want to bring back being a title sponsor of Junior John Canoe again. So there are some things that we would like to do, but we need more funding.
Now, with the new local government bill empowering local government bodies to have revenue-raising power, Culmer says that looking ahead, officials are planning to undergo training opportunities to learn how to generate that revenue. For the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, I'm Raven Davis.
And still to come.
71 students celebrate an academic milestone in UB North C-Learn graduation. That story, sports highlights, and more when we return.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse, the people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
Come on down and see what Dolly Madison has in store for you. Renovate and rejuvenate at Dolly Madison.
Dolly Madison.
Step into platinum glamour at Freeport Fashion Week's opening night fashion show. Celebrate 70 years of style on March 14th at the Stone Crab Tino Beach. Donations start at $50. Get tickets at the Grand Bahama Port Authority. Follow at Freeport Fashion Week. Support the future in sponsoring a princess. For just $40, help provide mentorship and leadership opportunities to young girls through Princess Card Mentoring Ministries. Call 351-8311 or donate directly through Commonwealth Bank today.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
Welcome back. The University of the Bahamas is celebrating the academic achievements of 71 students graduating from their UB North CLearn program. The program also boasting 49 awardees within the graduating class ranging from ages 16 to 60 is giving fresh learning opportunities to both new and established apprentices. Director of UB North CLearn, Leslie Dorset, says witnessing the graduates from the program is a symbol of success for the aim of the program.
Ranging from dental assisting, certified administrative professional, to accounting programs, to project management. CLearn UB North offers a wide range of certificate and certifications, and we are happy that persons have chosen us to continue their educational journeys.
Recent graduates as well have nothing short of high praises for their experience through UB North's learning program.
Going back into the classroom, you didn't know what to expect, but after the teachers were so engaging and they made sure that we got everything that we needed to be successful in this course, it made everything much easier for us.
This is much aspiring to others because they get to go on from this stage to another level, and a lot of people in the dental assistant field who has been in dental assistant for years, they actually got to get certified this time, so it's a big deal for us.
In other news, Junior Achievement Grand Bahama is hosting its speech finals as a prelude to the national competition set to occur on the 20th through the 23rd of February 2025. The event, consisting of 13 finalists out of 28 other competitors selected from the various JA entities throughout Grand Bahama, are all competing to face the winners from the Nassau, Andros, and Exuma speech winners at the national competition. Program coordinator Daquan Carroll says thanks to a major collaborator, the students are ready to make the podium.
So the Toastmasters International, their involvement has been that they would help the students with their craft, speaking. With our program, we teach about financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship. And so in that comes speaking. So they have to pitch their idea, have to be able to present their products to the public, have to be able to give sales. So they help them craft through the mannerism of speech to be able to be eligible entrepreneurs.
Member of the Board of Directors for JA Bahamas, Ron Dames, says the speech competition is only one portion of the bigger picture Junior Achievement Bahamas would like to present.
Now want to emphasize getting the primary schools involved. There are programs associated with that as well. So the board is looking to expand we feel that every island should have a JA program because it's so valuable, not only from the speaking aspect.
And finally, in news tonight, Sigma Gamma Rho Incorporated made a much-needed donation to the maternity ward at the Rand Memorial Hospital. The sorority delivered a basket filled with baby items and refreshments for mothers. Alcina Duncombe, a life member of Sigma Gamma Rho, shared that the sorority, which is also celebrating its 41st anniversary, felt it was important to give back to the community as they kicked off the new year on a positive note.
We realized that mothers and even expecting teens in high-risk areas or maybe a lower socioeconomic bracket, they may not have access to good health care. And so this is one way of encouraging them. And so this is something that we do every year to attend clinic so they get that prenatal information. They know how to take care of themselves. And so by so doing, it lessens the risk for low mortality rate among babies and even mothers who lose their lives during childhood.
The administration's manager of Grand Bahama Health Services, Adelicia Campbell, expressed her excitement to be present and receive the generous donation.
So we are so happy to be able to receive this wonderful basket and be able to pass it on to one of our patients that will have a baby today or, well, hopefully, if not tomorrow. This is the second donation that we have received for the year. First one being some wheelchairs. And we encourage the public to please continue to be generous and to remember that healthcare is a very costly institution.
Now, the Sigma Gamma Rho donation is part of the sorority's Cradle Care project, which focuses on the health and well-being of both baby and others. It's now time for a check on Health is Wealth.
February is recognized as Heart Health Awareness Month. The American Heart Association's Women's Signature Initiative, known as Go Red for Women, is a comprehensive platform designed to increase women's heart health awareness and serve as a catalyst for change to improve the lives of women globally. Heart disease remains the #1 killer in the Bahamas for both men and women. But one reason we try to raise awareness, particularly in women, is because their symptoms may be different and they may not experience the so-called typical symptoms such as chest pain, left arm pain, or shortness of breath. Results from a previous U.S. study by the National Institutes of Health showed that surprisingly 40% of women reported that they had no chest pain during any phase of their heart attack. If you or someone you know is experiencing symptoms of a heart attack, please call 919 or go to the nearest emergency room immediately. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and remember, your greatest wealth is your health.
And that's a look at stories making news. Jay, what's happening in sports?
Nico, did you watch the NBA All-Star Weekend?
I did.
Buddy Hield came this close to winning the three-point competition. We'll have those highlights in sports next.
All right, that's coming away next. But first, to check on the local weather forecast.
Tonight's weather forecast is brought to you by Royal Star Assurance.
'Cause it's so beautiful.
Here at Island Bedding, we provide Bahamians a local option for factory direct quality sleep products. We have also expanded to include a range of furniture and home accessories. Check out our new living room pieces, including sectional, TV stands, accent tables, and more. Come on down to Island Bedding and feast your eyes on prices you have to see to believe. Located at number 5 Queens Highway, across from Caribbean Veterinarian.
Journey to a serene oasis. Relax. Rejuvenate. Renew. Welcome to Renew Day Spa. For appointments, call 352-RENU.
What is Business Fit? Business Fit is a group health insurance package offered by BAF Financial. What are some of the benefits of Business Fit? No deductible, dental and vision care, hospital room and board, surgical treatment, labs, medication and drugs, maternity, doctors, clinics, specialist visits, chemotherapy and radiation treatment, air and ground ambulance, and preventative care. Business Fit, offered by BAF Financial.
When rats are constantly terrorizing the masses, there's only one person who can stop them. After all, not even the strongest rat soldier can defeat the power of budget pest control. With budget, the toughest pest won't stand a chance. Call today at 351-7378.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I'm Jay Philippe, and welcome to Sports Top in Sports. Playoff action in the air of 5-on-5 Flag Football League this weekend. Team Bulldogs defeated Team Switcher 36-6 to advance to the next round.
I think we go into the ship. Yeah, a little easy practice game today.
Basically today, the game plan was just come out, execute little game plan that we had and prepare for the other games going forward.
Now in other scores, Cold Hearts won against the Wolves 14-8, and the Knights defeated off the bench 44-6 to move on to the finals this coming Sunday at the Grand Bahamas Sports Complex. Next in sports, calls from Little League Baseball, the Red Sox scored the win 17-6 in 8U play. In 10U action, MSC Shippers edged out Rivera and Associates 9-6. In 12U action, Silverline Builders scored 5 runs to beat the Tigers 5-3. And in 16U play, the Dodgers and the Yankees came down to a 2-2 tie to end Week 2 play. From the diamond to the court, Buddy Hield made history on Saturday night at the NBA All-Star three-point shootout. In the first round, Hield was on a heater. He was the only player to surpass 30 points in a single round through the night. With 31 points in the first round, Hield tied his teammate Steph Curry for the most points in a single round in NBA history. Miami Heat guard Tyler Hero ultimately won the competition as he beat out Hield with 1 point after scoring 24 points in the final round. And that's your quick check on sports. Your Facebook friend of the day is next. I'm Jay Philippe. As always, be blessed.
Princess Court Mentoring Ministries is shaping young lives with mentorship, virtue, and leadership. Registration for the 2025 program takes place on February 22nd at Central Zion Baptist Church. Classes begin March 1st and run until March 29th. Don't miss this chance to empower young girls. Shisha Lounge and Restaurant, located in Grace Bay, Providenciales, your #1 night spot in the Turks and Caicos Islands. Come party with the stars.
Here at Freeport Decorators, we have hundreds of products for you to choose from. Whether you're in the market for trophies, plaques, rubber stamps, corporate signs, any kind of interior signage, stamps, or seals, we're your one-stop shop. We feature glass, acrylic, crystal awards for every occasion. We build all the trophies here on site. Looking for a gift item? We feature pens, key rings, mugs, tumblers, barbecue tools, even bamboo cutting boards. Have something already? Bring it on down. Let us see if we can print that special something on it for you. Need a headstone? Memorialize the memory of your loved one with a beautifully lasered granite marker. Our store hours are Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. We focus on customization. So if you have an idea or a new concept, bring it on down or call us at 352-5557 or even WhatsApp your idea to us at 646-0777 and we will do our best to make your awards and recognition ideas a reality.
Your #1 team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And that concludes the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. On behalf of the entire news team here in the North, I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. The Bahamas Tonight continues. They're coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, pledges to address marital rape, but under one condition. He says both sides must come to a consensus. Also, the nation's leader is setting the record straight on the Pike Corporation deal. Tonight, he makes it clear that the deal is far from dead. And later, the former Criminal Investigations Department chief was due back in court today on bribery-related charges. It was a no-show. We'll tell you why tonight. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report starts now. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. I'm Devontae Hanna, filling in for Makushla Pinder. The controversial topic of marital rape once again sparking national discourse. Tonight, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis is making his stance clear, vowing to address the hot-button issue. Koval Pyfram has the latest developments.
We do not need to, what I call, describe rape. When you start describing rape, you then get into more legal issues.
Prime Minister Philip Davis responding to concerns from women's rights groups in the wake of his Attorney General's recent pronouncement that further movement on proposed amendments outlawing spousal rape was unlikely to occur this term. Speaking to reporters Monday afternoon, the Prime Minister suggested rape is already sufficiently addressed in law.
Insofar as rape is concerned, if you don't describe it, why you want to describe rape? Rape is rape. Marital is descriptive, right? And so we all lament and abhor any man who would inflict violence on his wife. And rape is an act of violence. And the law, there are laws to deal with in a particular way.
While he didn't say one way or the other whether those amendments would be in fact made during this current term, Mr. Davis did say his decision would be derived from consensus.
This is a very divisive matter, right? You have arguments on both sides.
Is this
right?
you don't want to touch?
No. Well, I will touch it once I get a full understanding of what the Bahamians as a whole want, and not just one group. One group on either side of the divide. I want to have some consensus as to what has to happen before we move forward.
But as to whether that consensus would be determined through a referendum, the Prime Minister was once again non-committal.
Whether I go to referendum or not, I say consensus. We can have consensus while going to referendum.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Koval Pyfram.
All right, shifting gears now, the nation's chief also shooting down claims from the opposition that the government's 25-year deal with Pike Corporation for the upgrade and management of Bahamas Power and Light's transmission and distribution network in New Providence is dead. Last year, the Davis administration announced that it entered the deal with Pike Corporation through its Bahamian management company, Island Grid Solutions. And Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, assures the deal is in its final stages, with only the transitional agreement left to be completed.
There are no challenges. There are one or two issues that we have cleared up, and everything is still a go. As usual, we're still trying to ensure that the transitional agreement is followed by both sides. And there's just been some questions raised, but that is now resolved.
The Prime Minister was also asked about whether Pike bucket trucks were being shipped out because the work had stopped.
You would have seen a response from one of the major and significant party in it that spoke to that. I need to add any more to that.
In other news, today marking a historic one for urban renewal, which has officially become an authority, that is, a new autonomous body. The accomplishment is due to new legislation introduced by the Davis administration last year, more than 2 decades since the program was created. Minister of Housing and Urban Renewal, the Honorable Keith Bell, says now as an authority, that is, urban renewal will provide its workers with stability and continuity.
No longer must they fear that a change in the political atmosphere will force them to abandon the work they love. As we stand at this threshold, let us remember that Isaiah's words do not promise an easy road. They remind us that those from among you shall build the old waste places, implying that the labor, to sacrifice, and initiatives must ultimately come from among us.
Well, Prime Minister Davis also bringing remarks at this morning's ceremony, reiterating that over the last 2 decades, the program's reach has grown while recognizing the instrumental role it plays in uplifting lives.
We are pleased that the program has expanded to Grand Bahama, as it was, and other family island communities. From community policing to a robust small home repairs program and senior citizens club, Urban Renewal is a multi-pronged initiative driven by the idea that when communities come together, real change happens.
Well, still to come, a new trial judge hearing for the case of former CID Chief Michael Johnson and his co-accused. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report. More news in a moment.
Hear that? If you listen closely, you can hear the heartbeat of a nation. That unique sound of a great country, pounding with colorful history, a rich culture, and unwavering ambition. When you look around, you recognize its pulse. The people who love to celebrate, who identify with triumph, a people who know how to be our brother's keeper. Commonwealth Bank, built by Bahamians, here for Bahamians, Bahamians helping Bahamians.
KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Quench your KFC craving with a KFC Value Box for just $9.95. Get a piece of our golden fried chicken, crispy fries, cheesy mashed potatoes, 3 juicy all-white meat nuggets, a buttery biscuit, a sweet dessert biscuit, and a 16-ounce soda, all for just $9.95. Now that's a deal. Big flavor, bigger value, and always KFC. Finger licking good.
With BGC's crystal clear mobile service, stay connected seamlessly, whether on land or at sea. Our reliable postpaid plans keep your loved ones closer, no matter where life takes you.
So the 22nd, the Monarchy 4 Show comes alive with the Do It Knowles National Junior Sailing Championships. My, oh my. Come on out and witness the top junior skippers from throughout the Bahamas glaze through the waters competing for top prizes in the Opti Sunfish Laser and E-Class. And don't miss out in the Best in Youth Talent and a special junk canoe rush out by the Junior Junk Canoe Champions. And did I also mention the best in native dishes? So if you're young or old, you don't want to miss this. February 20th to the 22nd at the Monarchy Foreshore, Do It Knowles National Junior Sailing Championship.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies. Safety first.
Where you're looking at a live shot of beautiful Bahama Boulevard in western New Providence. And here's a quick fact for you. Did you know that Bahama literally means shallow water? Welcome back. Well, in other news tonight, the case of former Criminal Investigation Department Chief Michael Johnson and others now before a new trial judge. Johnson and his co-accused in a bribery case, Officer D'Angelo Roll and attorney Bjorn Ferguson, were expecting to hear the fixed date for the start of their trial today. Johnson, however, did not appear, his attorney Muriel DeSeal indicating that his client had car trouble. The prosecutor in this case, Basil Kamabach, Kevon Maynard represents Roll, and C.G. Smith-Curry represents Beyond Ferguson. Newly appointed Judge Dale Fitzpatrick said he had received their file only this morning and would need more time to review before proceeding. He wanted to ensure only information deemed necessary was included. The pre-trial date is set for March 7th. Still talking court news now, the trial of Adrian Gibson and his co-accused continued before Supreme Court Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson today, with Water and Sewage General Manager Robert Deal returning to the stand. Gibson's attorney Damian Gomez conducting cross-examination as the courts reviewed a series of emails sent between Gibson, Water and Sewage then Executive Chairman, and Mr. Deal. One of the emails indicate that a notice came from the Board of Directors that all contracts, whether verbal or written, no matter the size, would have to go before the board's procurement committee before receiving final approval, that is. There's also an audit and compliance committee, a subcommittee of the board that was to ensure all contracts were executed within compliance with the standards of the corporation. The trial continues. Now on to other news. 3 separate interdictions of suspected human smuggling foiled by international law enforcement officers. It happened over the weekend, starting here in the Bahamas. Matea Cunningham has the details.
The United States Coast Guard cutter crew returned 31 people of mixed nationalities to the Bahamas this past weekend. This follows 3 interdictions east of Miami. 4 suspected smugglers are in U.S. custody facing potential federal prosecution. In one incident Sunday, a 25-foot recreational vessel was observed by the Coast Guard exiting the Bahamas at a high rate of speed to Florida with no navigation lights. Shortly after, Customs and Border Protection Air and Marine Operations launched a coastal intercept vessel, which found 22 people of Jamaican, Haitian, and Chinese nationalities on board. Also, a Palm Beach Sheriff's Office Marine Patrol unit interdicted a vessel with 2 people on board Wednesday. The suspected smuggler is in U.S. custody for further investigation, and the other, a Honduran alien, was transferred to Border Patrol agents to be processed for expedited repatriation. Also last Wednesday, a suspected smuggling venture east of Key Biscayne was foiled. The suspected smuggler is also in U.S. custody. 1 alien was medically evacuated ashore, and the other 11 passengers of Chinese, Haitian, and Bangladeshi nationalities were transferred to the Coast Guard. The Americans processed the 31 nationals, determined their identity, provided food, water, shelter, and basic medical attention before repatriation to the country of their departure, in this case, the Bahamas. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Matea Cunningham.
Thanks, Matea. Well, in a matter of hours, the Bahamas is set to become the newest space tourism destination as a SpaceX Falcon 9 will make its first international landing right here in the archipelago. It's just one of 20 to come in 2025. Lord Allen, who has been with officials and who are involved with this historic occasion, he joins me live in studio. Lord, I know everybody is buzzing with what will come tomorrow, but what can you tell us this evening?
Well, Devontae, that's absolutely right. Tomorrow's landing, by most accounts, blazing a trail for the Bahamas to boldly go where no island nation has gone before. Now, earlier I had a chance to chat with Asia Bowe. She's the first Bahamian aerosmith engineer, soon to be astronaut, on this milestone for the Bahamas, both describing tomorrow's booster landing as nothing less than historic.
Well, tomorrow we are going to witness a historic collaboration. It will be the first landing of a Falcon 9 booster in international waters that will be viewable by Bahamians and tourists alike.
Now, we can also talk about the economic impact, which is obvious for the Bahamas.
Oh, absolutely. The economics of this are incredibly exciting. If you look at Cape Canaveral, they welcomed over 1.5 million visitors. Those visitors were responsible for over $1 billion in revenue for the state of Florida. And then on average, they spend about $2,700 and they stayed for about 2 days. The Bahamas now has an opportunity to bring some of that tourism here. And honestly, they have quite the ability to maybe even do better than Florida, although I hope, because the Bahamas has an existing tourism infrastructure that can not only support, but can capture the influx of people who will be coming to see these landings, as well as those who are already here who may want to take a piece of the landings with them home.
And tell us, what does this mean from a scientific but also social perspective for the Bahamas?
So the booster landing location was picked because it's the optimal for safety and the environment. I want to just walk through what's expected to occur. The rocket will take off in Florida. It will then separate and the booster will come down. When the booster comes down, there'll be about a couple hundred gallons of fuel. This is less than an aircraft landing. And that booster will land on a floating platform that's in several thousand feet of water in a protected area. That will occur around sunset, and it will be visible from the SpaceX webcast, which is going to be seen by people all around the world. I've spent most of my career watching things go from science fiction to science fact, and this is another one of those moments. I'm excited for what the youth of the Bahamas are going to do with this opportunity because space now includes them too.
Now, Devontae, as SpaceX is set to mark its proverbial X here in the Bahamas ahead of 20 similar landings, this, by all accounts, will place the country in an entirely new stratosphere when it comes to tourism. And that's definitely some great news for the economy. Devontae?
Thanks so much, Lloyd. Some great reporting there. Definitely some good news, like you said, for the economy and for the entire Bahamas. Well, from outer space, we go to the University of the Bahamas as it filed an application for accreditation, and it was submitted according to the UB's chair, Allison Maynard Gibson. The likelihood it will be accepted, she says, is high. Well, UB submitted its applications for accreditation candidacy to the National Accreditation and Equivalency Council of the Bahamas and the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges late last year. A critical step, she says, for the tertiary institution.
Part of the accreditation process, we don't want anymore us to be outside the door asking to come in. We want our team members, because they are members of SACS, to be able to walk into the same rooms in which Vanderbilt University team members sit, Duke University team members sit, MTSU, University Miami, all of them. Our team members will be able to walk in as a matter of right, not only because of the accreditation efforts that you're making, but because we are committed, and I say so strongly on behalf of the board today, and it is evidenced in that agreement, that we are going to invest heavily in our team members.
Well, Maynard Gibson's comments came during the recent signing of a new industrial agreement for UB's middle managers. According to the Public Managers Union President, Leslie Munnings, the success of the agreement is based on much more than just money.
It establishes how we are to communicate on matters which affect our members and/or the operation. And secondly, the importance of balancing measurable productivity with reward. All of these elements and more are reflected in this agreement.
All right, well, go Mangoes. But Valentine's Day may be gone, but how's your heart? And I mean the real one. Stay with us. We're talking cardiovascular health and On the Beat. That's after the break.
This portion of the news is brought to you by folk called Smart Pass, the smart way to pay at the pump.
We're here at the Nassau Village Community Center project, where over the past 17 months, we've hired over 20 Bahamian subcontractors to bring this beautiful project to fruition.
I've been living in Nassau Village for more than 19 years, and to see a project like this bring great joy and pride to me.
This state-of-the-art multi-purpose community center will serve as a crime-fighting initiative in the community. Also help with the education of our kids in this community and a hurricane shelter.
Yeah, and it also shows what we as Bahamians can achieve when we work hand in hand with each other.
We have the technical know-how, and we can pretty much deliver on any project here in the Bahamas or in the world.
Bahamas Pipe and the Bahamian Company, they prove that they believe in Bahamians.
Based on the outcome of this project, I don't think they're disappointed in giving a small person an opportunity to do a job such as this.
The more opportunity they get, the more opportunity we will get.
If you look around and see the work done so far, it just shows what what we as Bahamians can do.
Hey, Dizzy. Hey, honey. You got no message for me yet? Can I tell you why I get no money? At least not yet. I get my money. Managers. Oh, and I done upload it.
Hello, Miss Daisy. Your check is ready.
Thanks. I come for that little thing. You got it?
Money managers, responsible lenders for responsible people.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Welcome back. Well, authorities say cardiovascular disease is a leading cause of death here in the Bahamas, and prevention is just as important as a cure. In tonight's Health Matters, Daniel Dean sits down with a local cardiologist who breaks down the function of the heart and how to maintain it. Take a look.
Too much lipids, the wrong tendencies, wrong lifestyle, and it promotes the blockages in those vessels. And so when this is what your blood vessels should look like, they should be nice and clean and devoid of that yellow stuff.
Cardiologist and principal of the Bahamas Heart Center, Dr. Conville Brown, just described atherosclerosis, a condition where arteries become narrowed due to buildup of fats and cholesterol.
As time goes on, you can see where you can start increasing deposits in the vessel, and at some point, even with the deposits, you're still able to have good blood flow. Well, that's between the ages of 1 year and 35 to 40. So you don't usually hear of us having heart attacks at those younger ages.
And emphasis on the word usually.
We are so aggressively mistreating our bodies with our poor lifestyles, sedentary activity, not exercising, and so on and so forth, that we are actually seeing people at a younger age with significant blockages that do, in fact, occlude the flow of blood.
Brown warns such haphazard treatment of our bodies comes with serious consequences.
The biggest cause of death in this country is heart disease.
A statistic his life's work is designed to reduce. With Health Matters for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Danielle Dean.
Thank you so much, Danielle. Well, LaDawn joins us live in studio to give us a sneak peek of Access Now. LaDawn, the weekend is done. I'm not too excited about that, but I'm definitely excited for another week of Access Now. What do you guys have today?
Devontae, I understand, but a little birdie on the wall told me that you are a huge Vibes Cartel fan.
You let all my secrets out, LaDawn.
He's coming March 29th, and I know you're excited. What's your favorite song? Because I think I have one.
I can't say it on national television.
But we have an update coming up on Access Now.
All right, can't wait to hear it. Well, on the other side of the break, lucky students in Crooked Island got the opportunity to meet the Governor General. Stay with us. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the National Report.
Diet-friendly special.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to
help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 95th Terrace, Centerville, and now located in the Lucaya Shopping Center of Freeport, Grand Bahama.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps develop and grow Bahamian businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, Mike? Well, yeah, develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does do? Hey, check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Honey barbecue, sweet and spicy, all new. Signature, what's your flavor? Roasted garlic parmesan, tastes so good, chicken. Those pepper wings.
Now available at Popeyes in Nassau.
Welcome back. Well, Governor General, Her Excellency, the Most Honorable Cynthia Pratt, finishing up her tour of the southern Bahamas with a stop in Crooked Island. Students of both the Admiral Ferguson High School and Ulrich Ferguson Primary School getting the opportunity to meet with our very own head of state. Well, Wes Calix Forbes tells us more in this report.
The Governor General shared her personal journey beginning from humble beginnings and working her way to where she is today, providing that no matter where you start, you have the power to reach incredible heights. It was clear that the Governor General's visit had ignited flames in the heart of students, especially Renaya Ferguson, who felt an even greater sense of purpose after hearing the personal story of the Governor General, someone who had walked the path that she hopes to follow.
I want to be a neonatal nurse, and seeing that she started off from scratch wanting to be a nurse, it makes me see that I can be a nurse later on in life, knowing that I can start off by scratch.
She wasn't the richest, and to know that she came from all of that to this high ranking is very important, and it shows me that I can do anything if I put my mind to it.
The Governor General's visit was amazing because it's my first time meeting her, and to see how energetic she was for her age. And it's amazing to see how God works for people.
The Governor General emphasizes the limitless potential that lies in each of them.
Who said you can't be a teacher? Yes, you can. Who said you can't be an officer of the law? Yes, you can. Who said you can't be a nurse? Yes, you can. What about a surgeon? Yes, you can. Don't let the naysayers cause you to become discouraged.
This visit was to show students that you can not only talk the talk, but you must also walk the walk. A reminder that their dreams, no matter how big, are always within reach. Before departing, the Governor General left this message.
You are somebody. Don't mind how it looks now. Don't mind. You continue to say, I'm going to overcome this. I'm going to overcome this. If Mary can get it, I certainly can too.
For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Wes Calix Forbes.
Well, definitely an inspiring story there. Thank you so much, Wes, for that report. Well, that does it for the national report, but stay close. The Bahamas Tonight access now is right after this break with some Vibes Cartel. Thank you so much for watching.
The countdown is on. The first ever Excellence in Education Awards is coming to the Atlantis Resort on Saturday, February 22nd, 2025. I'm excited to host this red carpet event which honors extraordinary educators and officers with